Hello, everybody, and welcome to a remote, isolated, quarantined QuipScope, the show where, in a remote, isolated, quarantined, safe way, with social distancing, we talk about a new game that's come out that you can maybe be playing at home if you're feeling a little bit cooped up. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Today, Ben, this is Ben right here.
Hello.
I'm Peter, is going to be telling us about Animal Crossing New Horizons.
I am indeed, Peter. It almost seems appropriate that this game is released now, of all times, because everyone's going to be cooped up in their homes, or they should be, unless they have to work, in which case thank you for your service and so on.
Yeah.
But it seems like the perfect time to be distracted from real life. And what better way than to be whisked off to a remote desert island, and go live with the anthropomorphic animals and various other things, and catch butterflies and the fishies, and build your own little town and community, and so on and so forth. It's sort of perfect. Yeah. It's great.
Okay, well, so how have you been finding it?
Well,
Generally speaking,
I haven't played a great deal yet. I have never played an Animal Crossing game before, so
neither.
This is perhaps a unique perspective. I think most people getting this game have probably played Animal Crossing games before, or they're very familiar with them at the very least. But I doubt anybody who's doing any kind of critical analysis of this game has never experienced Animal Crossing before. But I think that's a valuable perspective to come at it from, because there's a good chance that some people may be listening/watching who have never experienced it either, and it helps to hear the opinion of someone who's not played these games before.
Well, exactly. I mean, as a person who also has never played the game before, I'll be able to ask the kinds of questions that those others out there will be thinking. So it's a good position to be in some ways.
Yeah. Now, of course, I have played the likes of Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon, and there are shared themes there, but those are far more focused on farming above everything else. Now, this Animal Crossing game, it puts you on an island. As I said, you're one of the first arrivals. You set up your tent, you go around completing sort of small, odd jobs and get various treats in return, be they crafting recipes to build things, or just things you can use immediately, items of furniture for your house, that sort of stuff. And it's all just very, very relaxing, all of it. And I don't know if you knew this, and again, this is where I'm showing my ignorance, but Animal Crossing operates on a real-time clock system. So if it's 3 p.m. in your world, it's 3 p.m. in the virtual world as well.
Oh.
And the days pass at the same speed our days pass. So when you're chopping up trees and you're hitting the rocks for the clay and the iron ore and going around de-weeding the ground, blaze it, you can only really do that once per day, and some things you have to wait a couple of days for it to come back. So by the very nature of its construction and the way it's put together, and I know a lot of people will probably find many ways to play it for hours and hours and hours and hours each day, but by nature of the way it's put together, it's the kind of game that you can pop in and out of on a daily basis for like an hour.
It's like a sort of a little and often game, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And there's events happening, and whenever you do something, the residents have different things to say, and they'll ask you to do stuff, and you get currency, you can buy more things. And I think the general gist of this particular Animal Crossing game is that you are essentially the mayor, I believe, in all but title, and you're sort of designing your own town as more people arrive, and you complete various tasks for people. And sometimes, for example, I've just got a task, and people who've been playing this game will know how early on I am just by stating this fact. But I've just got a sort of a mini mission to gather materials to build a town shop, and there's no way I can do it in one day. Basically, it asks for a considerable amount of resources in terms of wood and stone, and I could run around and maybe get half in one day but then I'd have to
Right.
wait a couple of days, potentially, for all the resources to allow me to harvest them again. So it's, again, by its very nature, it's the kind of thing that's meant to give you long-term goals, things that you keep coming back to, and it's not a game, as the Nintendo PR explained to me, in unprompted, I should say, in the email that he sent me, that you can speedrun. It's not a Stardew Valley where you can sit there all day and just fly through season upon season, just getting completely hooked, and every time you go to bed and you wake up it's a different day. That's not how this works. When you're done, you get into your bed and you save the game, and then you leave it and you come back in however many days later and you can check back in on your town. And again, as someone who's never played Animal Crossing before, that style of game is really appealing, actually.
Yeah. No, again, I mean, I know people keep saying things like this in various different contexts, but it is actually quite a nice format for a game in the current climate, as it were, because it's something that is going to last. It isn't something that if you're that bored and cooped up that you boot up a game and then you find yourself with as you say Stardew Valley, for example, you might find yourself sitting and playing Stardew Valley for 5 or 6 hours, and then suddenly you think, oh god, I'm really sort of like charging through this game, and God knows how long I'm going to be stuck in my bedroom for the next few weeks. Whereas a game that almost by design is saying, hey, just check in, have a bit of fun today, we'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be there for you every day with new things to do, that's a treat.
It is, and it's not the style of game because it's not a farming game, which is, I know I keep making that comparison, but it's the closest thing that I've got to Animal Crossing that I've played before. Because it's not a farming game, and I'm sure there are aspects where this does apply, but if you don't play it for a few days and you come back, your crops aren't all going to be dead. Your animals won't have just run away or something like that. Life just continues without you, and you can check in, and I'm sure they will have something to say, your residents, if you don't come back for a few days. But it's just a very appealing idea that an hour before bed I can boot up the game, go collect a few resources, and then put it back and come back to it another time. It's just incredibly relaxing. The music, the way that everyone speaks with their weird blah, 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 voices, great. I really like it. And would you like to know what I did on my stream? Because I streamed it.
I had one question first, which may be relevant to yours. Was that your first session with it? Your stream, you sort of started there.
Yes.
Okay. Well, because I wanted to know, I saw someone say something along these lines on Twitter, and as I say, I've not played these games before, so I don't know if I've misunderstood. Does the world have an element of random generation when you begin? Like, I think to do with like the people in your town, or maybe even some of the resources available to you at the beginning. Like, I'm sure someone said, oh, I didn't get any peaches when I made my world, or something like that. I wondered if you know whether that's the case or not. Interesting.
No, I'm not aware of that. I know there are certainly some random elements for completing tasks and getting rewards. It'll sort of randomize the kind of thing that you'll get. So different people will get different items of furniture for their homes. I saw someone post that, check out my house that I've made, and they had this, what was it? I think it was like a bunk bed or something. And someone commented underneath saying, "Oh, how'd you get that?" I said, "Oh, it's all random, so you just keep completing stuff, and you never know what you're going to get." And again, that's quite an appealing aspect. I really like that. And I haven't done this yet, but you can play online. You can go visit other people's islands, and other people can come and visit yours, and that kind of stuff. It's just a very, because these games don't come around very often. At all, Animal Crossing games. It's been a long time since the last one. Certainly a long time since the last one that was on a home console. I know it's a hybrid, but one that you could play on your TV that wasn't a DS. And I never really liked the idea of playing it on a DS. That didn't really appeal to me. But being able to come home and boot up the TV and play it on there, or even just play it in bed on a bigger screen that's not a DS. It's I don't know how to put it. It's very charming. The whole thing is very charming, and I recommend it heartily if people have a Switch and they're looking for something to sort of occupy themselves at the moment.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it. So you enjoyed your stream then? You had a good time?
Yes. So that was my first time playing it, and I arrived on the island. I got to name my island. Mm-hmm. I called it Go Awayland.
Right.
And I was introduced to my 2 co-residents, and there's Tom Nook there, who told me that I owe him just a ridiculous amount of money, of course, as is always the case, and I have to pay it back. You get something called a Nook phone, and as someone in chat said, they really should have called it a Nokia.
Oh,
like
they
a
should.
Nokia 3310.
Really
it's sort of a missed opportunity, but that's fine. I understand. It's slightly litigious. It's okay. And on there, you've got various apps, and through those, you can look at your crafting recipes. You can make custom designs for things that you can either apply as face paint, or just onto the floor, or onto like a mannequin, or even onto your own shirt. So I made myself, as people will be looking at right now, a little bat symbol on my shirt.
Nice.
That's kind of cool. I like that. And I also attempted to recreate my beard by creating a design that I could then put on as face paint. But it doesn't really work, because it sort of only gives you your cheeks, each cheek, and sort of the same portion but on your forehead. So you can't really do anything that goes around the mouth. So I just sort of have weird mutton chops, and I'm not thrilled about them, and I think I will get rid of them. But there's just all sorts of customization options as well, which is kind of nice. And then beyond that, it was just sort of saving up and completing various tasks until I was offered the opportunity to upgrade my tent to a house, which is literally where I am now. I've just got my house, and I'm assuming as I keep checking in, I'll be able to start building bridges to get over the different rivers, because the island is segmented into different parts, and you have to sort of pole vault over the river to get to the other side. Again, it's all sorts of like collectible-y things. Like there's a museum there, again, sort of like Stardew Valley, where when you catch fish or insects that you've never caught before, you can take them there and donate them, and you get rewards based on that. And it's a whole game sort of around just completing things and building things up. It's a great distraction, and I'm really, really looking forward to playing more. So I just thought I'd give you my thoughts of a complete noob and my first few hours with it. And those are my thoughts.
Good. I would like to clear up my spurious claim from earlier. Certainly, when you purchase Nook Miles tickets and travel to a new island, the new island is randomly generated and will have random villagers and a chance of spawning a different fruit type along with other resources. So certainly on new islands, you get sort of random fruits and villagers. Maybe it is also the case that your first world, the world generation in a new game is also like that. I don't know, but in any case, it sounds like it's got a lot of replay value, and not even replay value, but longevity, and even in your first run. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And because it's based on the actual date, it just can run indefinitely. There's no game over here. You just keep going. Just keep going and checking in and building up and tinkering away when you have the time. And I think that's certainly, given the QuipScope video that'll be coming out very soon about Doom Eternal and the fact that they released on the same day, I think it's a perfect... It makes time for you to be able to have both. At least certainly if you're playing it the way I am, which is checking in just sort of once a day for a little bit, because I know that some people are obsessed with Animal Crossing and will be playing it all day. But if you're ripping and tearing and ripping, and you're on this adrenaline super crazy rush ride, then checking in for an hour in bed, just calming down and picking up some oranges, it's sort of perfect, isn't it?
Definitely a better way to end the day, I think, than playing Doom.
Than doing a bit of ripping and tearing in bed.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, that's a quip little scope out of the new. I nearly said Stardew Valley then. The new Animal Crossing game.
New Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing New Horizons. More like more like Zebra Crossing New Horizons, because it's like a really safe, child-friendly, happy thing.
Oh yeah. Animal Crossing, more like Animal Crossing over into my dreams, because it's such a peaceful, wonderful thing that I want to dream about it.
That you're playing before bed, and
I'm playing before bed
in your mind. Man. New Horizons, more like Horizon Zero Dawn was a really good game, and so's this.
Yeah, exactly. Comparable, both of them. New Horizons, more like new stars in the horizons, because tonight I'm going to be really happy playing this game.
Ah, lovely. Well, I think we've done it.
Brilliant.
Thank you, everyone, for checking out this QuipScope. And as Ben says, stay tuned for one on Doom for something a bit more disgusting. Coming soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.